So do you feel like it's easier doing your lives now? Like since you've been started doing them?
Yeah, actually, I've done like 10 now ish.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. I think it's like I'm a lot more conscious when I say ums and ahs, and I just take a longer pause now.
So I learned that Jasheen taught me that when he came over here and did the recording. It's like being in too much of a rush to speak. So it's like taking that little pause in between to really gather your thoughts and not like repeat the same thing over and over again. That's what I'm trying to work on too. That's the same thing I'm working on. Yeah.
I feel like I lose my train of thought. Like whenever I go on a topic, I'll just keep going and I'm like, did I even answer the question or did I even stay on topic? I'm like, yeah. It's wild. How close are you on your hours?
I haven't checked since. I have to be close now. I mean, I haven't. The last I looked, I was at like close to 3,000.
Oh yeah.
And that's before I've been doing all this super live streaming and stuff like this. So I know this live streaming is doing a huge like deal.
Yeah.
And like it's the watch time. Like I say, that's why the last video I did. What's up, Jashim? You can see the. Can you see the comments? You can see them,
right? Yes. Yeah, I can see them
now. That's why the last video I did, I'm trying to get like I want people to watch it and get the hour, like really like watch it. Like this last video, even though the last video I put up didn't get the most views initially that I've gotten in the video, it's got the watch hours like are through the roof. But between the watch the watch time is through the roof between any of the videos. Like it almost doubled the watch time to any of the other videos I ever made. So that means people were actually like watching it from start to finish. Like
like the retention rates.
Yeah.
Was the video like a little like same time on like average? You know?
Yeah, it was like 12. Yeah, so I don't really do any more than 10, 12. So it was like 12 something.
Yeah, 12 too much. Yeah. Or more than 12. It's like
it gets a little too much. Yeah. So I was like, my goal was to just get them started from start to finish, was getting them like hooked on it and get them in there.
Yeah.
Justin is stupid. He said because the video was fire. But I did just shit, but editing and storytelling, that's a fact. But that's the reason I did it like that, is because I want to, because at the end of the day, I don't know when the last time I'm going to make a video. I don't even know when, but I just want every video I make to be like, okay, if this is the last one I ever make, I'll be proud of this, the last video I ever make. Like that. So that's the reason I make it like that. So I was like, I really went into that. I focused on, I was like, I gotta make this as good as I can make it. I was like, I just gotta get it right. And hopefully I got it right. Like Justin said.
I'm so worried about like just getting a video out because I'm like, oh man, I committed to daily videos. I regret it a lot of times. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so busy. Like I don't even have time to get my daily video out, but I got to get it out no matter what. So
yeah, because I see you do the shorts. I didn't even know there was such thing as that. I'm learning. I didn't even know there was YouTube shorts, that was a thing. I thought people were just doing like TikTok videos and then just putting them on YouTube and stuff like that. Because I see that what's the name does it a lot. Liz does it, and then what's the name? Anthony. What's the name? Running for my best life. Yeah, Anthony. Yeah, running for my best life. He does it too. He does the shorts a lot. So I just thought it was just a way of just doing TikTok. I guess YouTube is trying to get in there too.
Yeah, they're trying to do the same thing as like TikTok. And I'm not on TikTok, but I've heard it's like very similar. And you just got to keep it less than a minute, and it's got to be shot vertical. So it's like usually through your phone. But the one short that I did, it actually got more than normal views. So like I think YouTube actually pushes it out. Yeah. So
wow, I did not know that. Yeah. So you can't do it on a camera. You have to do it on your phone. So it's pretty much like you're making a.
I think so. Yeah. Or it can be on your camera, but it has to be, it can't be like regular. It has to be like, it has to be turned.
As if you're doing like an Instagram story or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like okay. Because when you watch it on your phone, it'll full screen it. So there's not. But when you watch on your computer, it's like the two black sides.
Got it. Got it. Nah, that makes total sense. I was just like, I see a lot of people doing it. I'm just like, what is this? I'm thinking it's like, I'm like, did something change in YouTube? I'm like, I didn't even know this was like a thing. But I guess it's a way, like you said, it's a way to get a video out if you just got to get a quick video out and just do it like that. And like,
Yeah.
I guess people would be easy for people to watch it because it's so short. So it's like,
exactly.
it doesn't take that much time for them to like watch it and do that stuff.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I supported you real quick. I got
So it's not like that. Yeah. So they don't even feel bad about it or anything like that.
Because when you go like comment on people's, like for me, I don't have time to comment on every single person's video, but like when they have a short, I'm more likely to comment on it because it's a short, because it's like so short. But
okay, got it. So that makes it super easier to like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, so I usually give it like 10 minutes and then just see if.
Yeah.
Kenny, this guy Kenny always wants to collab with me, man. I don't know. I got you. I've been super busy, like super busy. Just a lot going on, but I got you.
He looks like he does karate.
Yes.
Taekwondo.
Yeah, I think he did a video about what's those guys? The three ninjas or the three? Yeah, like the three something. I think he interviewed one of them. Kenny, you tell me. It was something like that with the three. I don't even know if it was the Three Ninjas without that. But it was one of those movies. The movie.
The one with Hulk Hogan.
No, what's the movie where the guy did the kick like this? He had his hands up and he kicked the guy when he did with the wax Kid. On. Yeah, was it? Is it Three Ninjas or Karate Kid? It was one of those two. I forget which one. It was one of those two. The Three Ninjas with the three. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. I haven't seen it since a kid.
Yeah.
But have you ever seen that? Cobra Kai. So it's the Karate Kid. Yeah, Karate Kid. Yeah. Have you ever seen Three Ninjas?
I've seen Three Ninjas. I used to play the. I think they had a game on the Super Nintendo, and it was hard, man. It was freaking hard. It's like like some of those like. What was like the Lion King game on the Super Nintendo? Oh man, that thing was so hard.
So the funny thing about that, some of those games back then, like those games were so hard. That's why they gave us like memory cards and stuff to say. Like those games, they made some of them games like extremely difficult for kids to play. Like we could not beat those types of games. It was just crazy. And back then there was no real instructions and stuff like that. You just going off of whatever. So it was they really threw us into the fire. I'll never forget. My brother was super into like the type of Zelda type of games, like stuff. Like so into those long games where you're on a journey, and those are so hard. Every time you fight a boss, the boss gets harder and harder each time. It's just it's a challenge every time. You're pretty much learning on the fly when you play those type of games. You're just like learning and just doing it, whatever.
You got to buy the guidebooks. Like the
guidebooks, yeah. No, that's a fact. Who has helped puppeteer Chucky in several of Chucky flicks? It's the newest. Okay, Chucky, the movie Chucky. Wow, that's crazy. So puppeteer, that's the person that's like talking, right? Like they're making a voiceover for him, like talking for him.
It's like the person, like controlling Chucky. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So like his movement.
Yeah, his movements.
Like his movements, right? Yeah. Oh, okay. So like each scene, like making him walk and do all this stuff, and then somebody else is probably talking and doing his like whatever. Okay. That's crazy. This guy Kenny knows a lot like of these these guys, these old school movie guys. It's big time. He said the doll. The doll.
Who's that basketball sign back in the back of you?
My mom gave it to me for my birthday. So it's like it just says my love mom, and then it just has like inspirational words all over.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's funny. Of basketball. Oh, okay. You look out for them. You just DM and all right. That makes sense. Now, Kenny, that's what's up. All right, we're gonna hopefully people come in. Start checking it. Matt Damon Matt Damon. You mean? That's crazy. If you could get him, so you just pretty much just DM all these people and just see if they can an interview. Okay, I get it. So he DMs like movie people, like people who are in like do the movie thing and then like interviews. That's cool.
Yeah.
If you can ever get him, Matt Damon, that's big. That's crazy. I mean, I don't know how you get in contact with that guy, but
yeah, like you know Dan Voss, the YouTuber.
Yeah, I follow him. Yeah.
He gets
the interviews.
Yeah, he gets like some cool guests on there sometimes. Like he interviewed I forget his name, but it was you know Ty Lopez.
No.
Yeah, he's like kind of like YouTube, like Gary V-ish, like reading books and stuff. But he's pretty big on social media, and he got his mentor on there. And then his mentor is like a farmer and stuff, but that guy's like a billionaire.
Really?
So, like, oh, that's legit. Yeah,
wow.
I forgot his name. Let me see.
He has a podcast, right? Dan, that's like his podcast, right? Like,
yeah, the podcast.
Yeah. Man, that's crazy. That's cool.
Yeah, because I was like, let me see. Yeah, because his mentor, I've been following Ty Lopez for a while, and then he had like just Snapchats and stories of him at his mentor, because the guy owns a farm. You know, he's like one of those big like meat producers, like raises cows and stuff. And I was like, and then he had him on his podcast. I was like, Joel Salatin, that's what it is. And I was like, dude, that guy's like a billionaire. It's like, that's insane. And Dan was just like, yeah, I just reached out to him and we got him on the show.
Wow.
You know, I was like, dude, you should just DM all the basketball players.
Basketball player to see if I get somebody.
What can you lose? You know, what can you lose?
That is real. Like, what can you lose? What are they gonna say? Not ignore it or say no? Okay. I mean, that's
exactly
unexpected. But yeah. So all right. So we'll get started, and then hopefully people will just come in. Usually that's how it is with the lives. People just periodically come in and out of here, and if they like put their hand, they'll stay. If they don't, they're out of here. Yeah. That's the YouTube life we live. But all right, so today I got a special guest, Vince Luu. His YouTube channel is called Life with Vince Luu. I have quick backstory how I've known him. From when I started YouTube, started being serious with YouTube in January. He was one of the first channels I followed, and it was good back and forth. It would support me, I support you. Like, he was one of the first channels that I started watching, and I definitely gained a lot from watching his channel. And I feel like we came up around the same process of just learning and just trying stuff out in the beginning, just trying to do stuff that is going to work. Maybe it's going to work, maybe it's not going to work, but just trying to learn and just try to figure out how this whole YouTube craziness goes. But definitely he's been a positive impact in and I can say it in a bunch of YouTube people's lives. And he continues to do great stuff. He is going to run a 50-miler tomorrow. So, man, I don't know how that's going to be. That's going to be crazy. He is putting out videos every day. He told himself for a year, he's going to give himself 1 year to put out one video a day on YouTube, and he's going to stick to it. We're 3/4 of the way, more than 3/4 probably. We're right there at the finish line. So we're about to be done with the year. So he's definitely kept up with that. You just become not just become, but recently have became a real estate agent in California, into jiu-jitsu. He does. What does it? I don't know what Vince doesn't do. Vince doesn't. I call Vince the YouTube pioneer. Vince is the one that when we started building this community and talked about community and building a community, you were one of the pioneers to have that saying and be like, this is what I want from YouTube. I want to support the people that support me, and I want to create something that we can look back 5, 10, 15 years from now and be like, yo, we were all together when we started this whole process. So anything you want to say about yourself? That's my quick introduction for you.
Man, you really know how to hype me up. I'm like, oh yeah, I feel good about myself right now. You know, I'm like, yeah. You know what? I am the man. No, I'm just kidding. That's how you make it. But yeah, you hit everything. You know, ultra runner, jiu-jitsu, YouTube. I mean, life is just one big experiment for me, and you know, like try things out and see what I like, and that's what stuck so far. And yeah, I feel you on trying this whole YouTube thing. Like, we're throwing mud on wall and hopefully like see what sticks, right? Like, it's like we're just trying to learn through all this together with the, you know, and it's funny because we're all growing. It's like we're all on this YouTube journey together, but we're all in the same class, right? And then so we're all like, once one person started doing live streams, everyone started doing live streams. And I was like, yeah, it's cool. You know, and everyone started just working off each other's energy. And like, you know, it's cool to see everyone, and everyone's getting to that 1K mark now, you know, like everybody, it's like, we just got to keep doing what we're doing. So next stop is 10K. And it's what I told some of the other small YouTubers, like, yo, when everyone hits 100K, we're meeting up for sure. Right? We're going to rent a cabin somewhere, and it's going to be a good time.
Super, super cool. So, all right. So, what's up, my BS life? What's up? Thanks for coming through. So that goes right into segues right into the first question is, how do you feel about YouTube now compared to when you started? So when I say when you started, is like when you seriously started like focusing on it and we're like implementing the strategies and doing all that stuff. Because the reason I asked this question is that for me, I feel like right now it's such a different experience than if you would have asked me in January and March and all those times. So how do you feel? Like, what would be your thoughts on where you're at right now in YouTube compared to where you were at when you first started?
I think when I first started, I was so worried about followers, you know, like, I want to get 1,000, or I thought that was like the goal, right? But then once you get to 1,000, you're like, oh, I'm just scratching the surface. And I think the strategy when I first started was, you know, follow everyone, comment on their stuff, but not necessarily getting those like quote unquote loyal subscribers. But nowadays it's like, oh, I should have done it. Like I should have done more geared towards my growth strategy, more towards loyal subscribers and just to follow people for the heck of following people, you know? So, cause nowadays it really reflects on your ratio in terms of views to subscribers, right? So you don't, I don't want to be the channel that has 10,000 subscribers, but 100 views on each video, right? So I want, you know, now it's the strategy is, okay, how can I give, how can I give value to people and then actually have them like me as a person? Because for me, I talk about so many different things. It's like, I mean, usually they say, oh, niche down. But then for me, it's like, I also feel that I don't want to limit myself just to talk about one thing. And it's literally what I'm doing in my life, right? So like, it's jiu-jitsu, it's running, it's powerlifting, it's being a vegetarian, it's, my career as a real estate agent. But before it was just all fitness, right? But then now it's like, no, I'm just going to talk about whatever I want to talk about. But yeah, I'm not sure if that answers your question, but it's definitely, I feel like when at the start of the pandemic, and I'm not sure if this was the same for you, but when the start of the pandemic, I was getting a lot of views, right? But then now that 7 months later, I'm getting less views, but I have more subscribers. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, do you think, but it's also, I figure, okay, people are getting back to normal, going back to work. They're not at home on their phones all day anymore. So, and then also me being monetized now, my views went down even more. You know, it's like down by like 30 or 40% like, because normally I would get like 100, 120 views on videos, but now some videos only get like 60 views, 70 views. I'm like, oh, because people probably don't want to watch the ads, right?
Wow, that's crazy. I I didn't think that. Like you said, even when like as our subscribers grew, it's like the views went down. It made no sense.
Yeah.
Like 'cause I even remember you saying that once you just hit 1K, you were like you're starting to see you're gaining viewers without you really having to do much, just because you're at 1K and you feel like YouTube is you're getting the algorithm and YouTube is starting to show your videos and whatever. But it's so weird that like I got more views struggling from like 500 to get to 1K than when I got to 1K. And like you said, I don't know if it was because the process when I'm at 500, I took the same process you said. I did. So like people who comment, I would support them, and then I would go out and then find other channels. Like even I would look on your videos, find people who are supporting you, then I would support them, and hopefully they'll come back and support me. Like it was just that constant, like, because I think at the end of the day, the goal was to get to 1K, and we were like, all right, we got to get to 1K.
Yeah.
We got to get to 1K. So that's what like fueled us and what pushed us and motivated us. But then once we got there, it was like, okay. So I'm looking at this channel with this person talking about like politics, and I really don't care about politics, but I'm just supporting them just because, you know what I mean? So it's just, it didn't make sense. It starts to get to the point where like, if my viewers and all that stuff is gonna go down, then I might as well just stick to the people that support me, if that's the case. You know what I mean? If everything. So now I'm at the point where I see the constant people who support my channel. So I'm like, I'd never get mad at not having this person look or whatever the case would be, because I know who's going to support my channel. So my goal is just to put out the content that I enjoy to put out, and then put out the content that is going to have some type of impact where people are going to see it, even if you're not subscribed to my channel, and you'll be like, man, this is inspiring, or this is something I want to get into. Because I think the goal now for us should be more so trying to get subscribers outside of YouTube, like people who just would randomly watch your channel and be like, man, this guy has something interesting. I would like to subscribe to your channel. You know what I mean? Because you have those constant YouTube subscribers right now. That
yeah. Yeah, because it's how do you get someone that's not a YouTuber to subscribe to you? Because it's the ones that don't have a channel that are subscribing to you because they actually enjoy your content, right? Or they actually want to support you. Because and that's the goal. Because when you find other, like, I was the same thing, you know, I was like following everyone. I was trying to be selective, but then I saw, you know, I would follow people, or they would comment on my videos like 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 videos in a row, and in English, right? But then when I went to go view their channel, they're speaking a completely different language. I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying right now. But
I don't mean to cut you off, but every time when I had that same issue, I would watch their videos, and then I would just see like a flower in the background or a tree, and I'd be like, yo, that's a beautiful looking tree or something. Because I have no idea what they're saying in the entire video.
Yeah, and I just go, because I want to let them know that I watched the video, right? I go, oh, beautiful scenery on your hike, you know? Yeah. But then they would always comment in English, you know? So they're like, hey, good job. And they watch my videos. I'm like, okay, I feel bad for not following you and not supporting you. So I'll do the best I can, but I don't know what you're saying right now.
No, that's so true. And even my BS Life said the same thing. He said that the balance is so tricky in the beginning as you find what you, it is a crate, like my BS Life, I made you a moderator too. So you have moderator privileges. I don't know what that means, but I just do that. But you're the moderator. But that's so true. It's just that in the beginning, it's like, because when I first started my channel, my goal was always to create the last video I created. That's the type of videos I wanted to create all the time. But because of this corona and everything, like that wasn't possible. So I was like, I still have to start this channel and do this. So what can I do right now? Like what are the things that I can do with the situation that I'm given? So that's why I would do like whatever videos, like basketball hair. I would be like, Coach Kev vs. the Hill. I just do stuff, you know what I mean? Whatever, like to me, like something that I feel like people could benefit from. And now that we're back in basketball in this last video, this is like where I always was at. And I'm like, this is where I wanted to be. So even if I feel like it's not getting the super viewership that I think it should be getting, I feel like if I continue down this path, like I'll look back and it'll be like episode 10, and I'll be like, bro, I can't believe I made it this far, like from there. Like that's
yeah. You just got to keep at it. Yeah, that's it.
It's a like YouTube. If you would have told me like right now, so right now is what? It is November. If you would have told me in January I first started that this is YouTube, I would have been like, what? This is crazy. Like, I did not think YouTube was like this. This is a lot. Like YouTube really is like I'm thinking, I've said this before a million times. I'm gonna put out one video, so it's gonna catch a wave, and then it's gonna get like 10,000 people watching it or something. And I'm gonna be in there, and then I just have to put out like one video a month, and then people are just gonna ride the wave like that. But it is nothing like that.
Yeah, like I didn't know it was so much like, oh, I gotta do description, I gotta do tags. It's like I thought I'd just make a video and I'll be all right, like. But yeah, it's a lot of work. I actually think about this all the time of like, what will happen if, because I mean, you're supposed to comment back on everyone's comments, right? But what would happen if you didn't comment? Because that would save me a lot of time. That would save me a lot of time because I come out with daily videos. So I'm like constantly, it takes me an hour. I spend at least an hour commenting back on people's videos, right? Like, what if I just didn't comment back on anyone's? Yeah. So
that's so. Like with that, because like once you come to a point, like say you get 10,000, whatever, you can't comment on everything because it's just too much. You're gonna have 8,000 comments, and you're not gonna be able to reply to all of them. Like it's impossible. But like you said, it comes to a point, like even where I'm at right now, it's like the people that don't comment on mine, and I'm very like I give it a lot of time. Like I'll just give you for example, even if you didn't comment on my last 3 videos I posted, I would still support you. 3, but then you're not commenting on 4 or 5. I'm like, bro, what am I doing? I'm just continuing to comment and support you, and you don't even like. And the funny thing, what irks me the most with this is that it'll be people with like 400, 500 subscribers. I'm like, I remember when I was at that time, and I would comment on everybody's video because job, you know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So then I look at that, and I'm like, so I'm supporting you, and I'm not trying to be like I'm better than you, but it's just that I'm like literally supporting you, and you can't comment on like none of my videos. Like it's just like my videos are nothing to you. So I'm like, it's just like to that point, I just be like, I'd be done with it. Like after that.
Yeah, like for me, I'm at the point where everyone's videos that I'm watching right now, I'm not adding anyone new. So like with yours, I watch yours, I watch Kevin's, I watch Shim's, like everyone. It's like that's my max, and I'm not adding any more people to this pot, like of people who I'm actually watching. So nowadays, if I have like a new subscriber and then they're like commenting on my videos, I don't necessarily feel the need to subscribe to them, nor do I comment back on their videos. But like there's a good 20 to 25 people that I watch every single video. But yeah, that's so funny that you mentioned that like you're commenting on like, because like for me, I come out with daily videos and I tell those people all the time, do not watch all my videos. Like I would be mad if I was subscribed to me, like expecting be like, oh, I want you to comment on every single one of my videos, like, no, I just comment on the ones that you like want to watch, But for me, since I come out with daily videos and like people who come out like 2 to 3 videos a week, I make sure to like do my best to try to watch every single one of those, because especially if someone's commenting on every single one of my videos, and they're like 7, it's like or they come out with 1 video a week. It's like the least that I can do is watch your video in full and then have a super meaningful comment, So.
No, that's so true. Like even that goes into the next thing I was gonna ask. Like that's a perfect segue. Like, so from the beginning, so from when you started to now, do you still have the same? Like when you first were like, I'm going to focus on YouTube and do all this, do you have the same goals with YouTube, or has anything changed where you're like, okay, I wanted to do this, but I'm at this point, like, you know what? It's good if I just cancel that out here. I'm just going to stick with this. Like, is there anything has changed from that point? Because like I said, I was there with you. We were from the beginning, from when we were like, you had, I think like 700, I had like 500, and we're like, we got to get to 1,000, and we got to like support who supports you and continue to push and get to that. So do you have that same mentality now, or have you taken a step back and kind of like pushed it away now that you've like even got into real estate and done other things and just started like a whole different process in your life?
Yeah. Yeah, I think my main goal for my channel in the beginning was just to build a community, right? And like that was my main goal. And like if I could have this community when I was like at like 500 subscribers, but it was bigger, that's what I wanted. But I've definitely taken a step back because I don't think it's realistic to support others, like, because your energy is limited. There's only so many people that you can support, right? But now it's like, okay, I want to add value where I can. I still want to build a community, but I can't necessarily, like go and watch everyone's videos and comment on everyone's videos, especially now. Cause when I when I first started the YouTube journey, I was working at that point, but then I was let go from my job. And then, so I had a lot of time, and then because I had a lot of time, but at the same time, I was like studying for my real estate license. So, but I had a lot of time, so like I could do it. But now I'm like, yo, I'm working full time. There's no way, and I'm like, this is hard. Like, because if you think about YouTube, coming from like, just think about how many hours you spend on YouTube. So for me, it's okay, watching other people's videos, commenting on their videos, but also commenting back on my comments, like when they commented, and then making a daily video and then editing the daily video and then the description, the thumbnail. So I think I at least at minimum spend three hours per day. And that's why I like doing live streams, because it's a lot less work. I'm like, yo, I get a free day. Basically all I got to do is just talk. Right. So that's why I love doing live streams. But then I was like, maybe I should do like 3 live streams a week. But then I was like, nah, that'd be overkill, but so my videos nowadays are like super short, but 3 hours a day, that's 7 days a week. That's 20. That's a part-time job. I'm like, yeah, this is a lot of work, but nowadays it's just like, okay, just come out with the content that I want to come out with. And hopefully that adds value to people's lives. And because I come out with so much different content, but it's in the sphere of what the content I'm coming out with, I feel like it adds value, because I've had people reach out to me and be like, I actually just yesterday and today, like a few people like, hey, your real estate videos really helped me out. Right. But then I'll have like that ultra running videos, like, oh, your ultra running videos really helped me out, or your jiu-jitsu videos really helped me out. But it's like different types of ways I'm helping people out. But just because you watch one doesn't mean you're going to watch all of them. You know what I mean? So, but that's why I keep doing it, because it's like what I'm up to and what I'm interested in as well.
No, that's so true. Like even as we've gotten, like, so for New Jersey, so we got back into coaching and all this stuff in basketball. Like ever since that time, my time has been going out the window. Like I have no time for anything else. Like I'll miss 2-3 days of replying to comments, of even just watching videos, just because it's just so much going on. And I understand like perfectly what you're saying, because even now in New Jersey, they just they said that they just made like this rule where only New Jersey can play with because I guess the corona has gotten spiked up out here. So we spiked up. So there's like only New Jersey teams can play New Jersey teams. So it's just so much going on, because now we got to figure out like how, because we were going to do out of state tournaments. We're going to do this. So we're going to figure out so much. So by the time I get through all of that, I'm like, bro, I haven't even looked at YouTube in like 3 days because I'm so focused on life and doing that stuff. So that's why I'm like, I'm at the point where I have to put out a video like I did on Wednesday, where I can focus in on one video and do the best I can. And if that's one of the last videos you'll see for a week or two, at least it'll be something I'll be proud of and be like, I would want you to see that 2 weeks from now and be like, whoa, that video was fire. You know what I mean? That not a random video like, I'm just putting out a video. So that's just my mentality with it. 'Cause I don't know, with everything going on, I don't know when's the last time you're going to see me coaching or doing this and doing that. So I'm trying to take advantage of every situation as much as I can. And like you said, even in the beginning with the corona and with the everything, we had so much more time. Like I literally would wake up and be like, all I could what else I got to do but YouTube? If I don't do YouTube, I'm literally just going to be sitting here and doing absolutely nothing. So we literally had so much time to put into it. But I think I heard you've said this a million times. I feel like that created the groundwork of where we're at today. Like that's the groundwork. Like if we didn't do that, we wouldn't be as far as we were, and we wouldn't even be able to have a conversation like this now. We would still be at 200 subs talking about, man, we should have started a YouTube channel. Jay, why didn't we start one? Why didn't we do that when nobody like? So even doing that action, I feel like created this conversation, and it's just cool to look back at those times and be like, man, it's so different than what it is now. It's like crazy, and it's gonna continue to get different and different. But like I always say, we just got to continue to adapt to it and just continue to do our best to just feel out the changes, and then wherever you feel like you can fit in, whatever you feel like you can do your best at, and just figure that out and do it.
Yeah, I think one thing that I've learned in the last like 3 or 4 months is because it gets to a point where you're like, oh, this is overwhelming. Because when you're smaller, it's like, oh, it's not that bad, like commenting, whatever. But it gets to a point when you're like, okay, this is getting too much, and then you feel guilty for not supporting people. But then I learned to let that go pretty quickly, because it's like the life goes on, right? So if I miss one person's video, like they're not sitting there like, oh my God, like they missed my video. Like Vince is a terrible friend or supporter. Like most people are like super understanding, right? Like, and at the same time, it's don't feel guilty about missing other people's videos, because we all have a life. Sometimes this is what I felt too, especially in the early stages, like when I was spending like 6 hours on YouTube per day, like you mentioned, right? Because there's nothing to do. It's like, I want to go on YouTube and comment on everyone's stuff. It's, I totally forgot what I was going to say. Shit. Yeah. But yeah, it's just, that was like the main part of our life. It's like, we just have to learn to let go of like, hey, it's okay to take a step back. It's like, we have a life outside. Oh yeah. That's what I was going to say. Like, it seems like YouTube is life, but it's not that it's not real life. It's not that haven't made real friends, but it seems like when you're all caught up on YouTube, all you can think about is YouTube. And that seems like that's what real life is. But if you get out and then actually go hang out with people, there and work and stuff, especially if you're not working, right? It can seem like all encompassing. But now that I'm working, it's like, oh, there's a life outside of YouTube, and YouTube will be there when I come back, right? Or like, let me just put in what I can. So,
like you said, you get stuck in a mentality of, okay, if I don't watch Vince's video, he's not gonna support me. Or if I don't watch, like, it's not even that.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that serious.
Yeah.
Like at the end of the day, it's really not. Like if I've watched your previous 10 videos and I don't watch number 11. Like, I'm like, oh my God, he's not going to support me because I didn't watch 11. But that's like the mentality we have. But you have to get over that, like you said, and just understand that it's more to YouTube than just YouTube. Like, it's life. Like, nobody expects you to watch every single one of your videos. You know what I mean?
But I'm keeping tallies of everyone, like, not,
like, it's like you have a check mark. Like, you have a check mark. Like, okay, Vince watched 11 through 12. But he has not watched 13. That's not it. It's over. It's like who thinks like that? Like nobody's thinking. But that's the mentality we have when we think about like YouTube, which sucks. But we have to like figure out that it's so much more than counting numbers and figuring out. It's like creating stuff. If you're doing something right, you'll know, like, because people are gonna support it. And then once you see those people support it, you appreciate them, and then you try to gain more supporters. Like that's the goal I'm at. Like you just try to gain, but at the end of the day, you always gonna know because there's no faking like real support. So you're always gonna know the one that's support because they're gonna. Vince, you probably know all the ones that always comment on your video. You know the ones that always get like. You're gonna know your real supporters. So once you understand that, it kind of makes it easier because now when I like look through videos, I know who to support and not, because I like before, even when I put out a video, I already know who's gonna watch, like just personally from this YouTube community. And my goal is just to get outside people looking in and be like, oh, now they're adding a number. But I already know inside the YouTube community who's gonna support me because we have that type of relationship inside of YouTube. This makes it so much easier to not have to look out and be like, okay, now I gotta wake up in the morning and be like, okay, let me support this channel, support this shit. I literally go through it and I'm like, bro, it's like past the point of if you're not supporting me, then I just don't support.
Yeah.
I don't even say that in a bad way. I don't even mean that to be bad, but it's just like I'm at that point where it's an understanding of, like you said, if you get to a certain number, you want to have your number support your comments, support your likes, support all that stuff all together. Where it's not, oh, you have this much subs and you have this little, like, where it looks bad, and then people are like questioning, like, what did he do? Did he pay somebody to get to this point or whatever? Like, I never want to have that type of mentality like that.
It's like you cheated. You took the easy way. You took the easy way out, and you did the sub for sub, and it'll reflect. And I think it's like once because the whole support others until they support you strategy, it's good and bad in my opinion. Because then I wouldn't have been able to meet people like you, like the whole small YouTuber community. But at the same time, I also probably have like hundreds of subs that don't watch any of my videos, right? But then it's like a double-edged sword. But it also helped kickstart our YouTube journey. But we realized that pretty soon. So nowadays we're not doing that anymore, right? Like we rarely do that. But we're more like, okay, let's just create content that we're proud of, that we like, and just shoot it out there and try to grow the natural way.
Yes.
Right. So.
No, that's exactly, and that's where I'm at now with it. And call me crazy or call me wrong or right, but that's where, like, from this point on, that's where I'm gonna go, and that's where I'm gonna grow with. And like, if I see genuine support, I'm always like, I'm never one, like, even if it may take me a day, 2-3 days, I'm always gonna support the ones that support me. Like, I will always keep that consistently. So I'm at that point, like you said, I'm not looking out here to reach out and to add more or to be like to like this. But if I see the real support or somebody coming new and they're really supporting me, I will have no hesitation to go out and give them the same thing back, the same energy back.
Yeah. Actually, that's a good point, because that's what happened with like Move with Jen, right? Because I feel like I already had my circle of like who I'm going to support, and then Move with Jen started commenting. I was like, oh, she's cool. Like, all right, and then I started following her stuff, and then now it's like the relationship is there, right? But you always when someone new comes to my channel and then comments, you're always like, okay, is this going to be a real supporter, or are they just commenting this one comment, right? So I test them. So I say, all right, let me comment back, but I won't follow them yet. But once they comment like 2 or 3 more times, I'm like, all right, I see. Okay, I can see us being friends. You know
what? That's crazy, because that's the same thing I do. They would comment on mine if it's a new supporter, and then I'll go to their channel. And but the first thing I want to see on the channel is if it's something that I would even support anyway. So if it's something that I'll support, then I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna give them the support of subscribing and watching a video. But then after that, that's all. That's like my maximum support from that point. Now, if I see them continue to support me, now I'm like, okay, now I'll put the notifications on where I can get it. Now I'll support them because I see the receipt. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So because at the end of the day, I feel like if I was in their shoes and I was doing that to them, I would want the same respect. So if I followed you and I supported you, and then you were like hesitate, and I continue to support you, I would want you to be like, all right, this guy is continuing to support me. Let me check out what he's doing over here. What he's doing.
Yeah, you like I have levels of support. You know what I mean? And I usually mirror if someone like comments on all my videos, but they're like, "Hey, good job, I like it." Like I'll still comment on their stuff, but I like generally won't watch a lot of their videos. But I'll say, "Hey, like good job" or stuff. But if you're leaving like a long comment, I'm like, "All right." When people leave a long comment, like a meaningful comment, I'm like, "Okay, this is a good person." Like I feel like and I want to reciprocate that back, right? So it's like and then next thing you know, once you comment like 10 times back and forth, a genuine comment, you're bought into them as a person, right? And that's what it is. You bought to them as a person, and it all starts slow at first, And then same thing with like, you just pop Sam up. It's like, yeah, Sam's cool. Yeah. She always comments like bomb ass comments, Sam, what I mean? Like yeah.
Right. But Sam, that's funny that you said that about Jen. Because Sam was one of those ones from the beginning. When we first started the like Sam, I felt so when I had like, I want to say I had like 500 or 600 subs. Sam had like over 1,000. So Sam was there at the level we all wanted to get to. So I'm like, I'm gonna support her. Like I seen her comment on your videos. I think that's how I started supporting. It was from your video, somebody's videos. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna support her. So, but I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, she's probably not gonna support me. She has way more subs than me. She's like, who's this guy over there? But she's always consistently supported. So I'm like, that's exactly what you just said. It's just somebody who you're like, every time you put a video, this person is one of the first couple comments on your video. And then like you have no other thing in your heart to do but support them like 100% back. So for like, even like you said, outside of the circle, like when I saw her stuff, I was like, Sam does dating, does all this stuff. She's in, I know she's going for her master's. She's doing like so much, but it's
PhD.
She's out here killing the game.
I got you, Sam.
Sam, she's just out here killing the game. Sam is just out here. Her last video was great. The last video she had there was no audio. It was just all the words on the screen, and she was just talking about finding your purpose in life and all that good stuff. Sam is great. So even stuff like that, I was like, in the beginning when I first started following her, she was doing like dating advice and all this stuff. I was like, bro, I don't want to support this. I'm like, what is this person talking about? But then as you get to know, it's like getting to know her in person. Like your first interaction, you might be like, oh man, she might be like this. But then you get to know her, you're like, wow, she's actually a cool person. Like this is like real. Like you just meet authentic people and you just feel that like genuine support. And then when I like, it's the same thing. Once we started getting in and once like that, I was like, yo, she's one of the people that if I post a video, I already know she's gonna be a comment. I was like, I marked that off. That's a checklist that she's gonna be in there. Like she's gonna be in there when I comment. And that's like you said, that's the type of support you want. If you get to 5,000, 10,000, 100,000 subs, like keep going like that.
Yeah, and I think Sam just she said I don't judge it based on sub count, and I'm the same exact way. So for me, it doesn't matter how big or how small you are. Like it like if you show genuine support, like that's what I'm all about. So also when people ask to collab with me, when I don't have a relationship with them, but they're like a lot bigger than 10,000 subscribers, like I always say no because I don't know you like that. But I've also had people that are less than 100 subscribers, less than 200 subscribers, and they want to collab with me. Like, yeah, let's do it. I don't care. Like, because to me, the sub count doesn't matter as long as we have some sort of relationship, right? So I always think it's a little. So in terms of people who want to collab with me, I have we have to have some sort of relationship. I'm not going to just collab for the sake of collabing. Like I actually have to like you as a person. And if I don't know you, then it's weird to collab, in my opinion, for me. And that's why I always reserve the collabs on my channel for people that I actually like genuinely support. Right. So, but it also doesn't matter how big or small you are either. So.
No, that's so true because, like the even the collab, like I'm the same way. I don't care about like the number of subs, like to me, I'm not very you call me crazy. I'm not into the checking the algorithm, just checking everything. Oh, did my subs go up 3 today, or did my watch? Like, I don't even look at that stuff because, not to say I don't care. Like, yes, that's a part of it, but in my mind, it's like, what am I doing this for? You know what I mean? I always think like, what is the reason I'm doing this? Am I doing so? Even when I come to coaching basketball, am I coaching basketball just because I want to win every game? Is that all that matters to me? Is because I'm just trying to win every game or whatever? Like, is it more than that? Like, do I actually care about these people and I'm actually have a bigger goal than what it is that other people might think it is? So in my mind, when it comes to YouTube, I'm like, why don't I treat YouTube the same way I treat real life? Like, it's not about like a number. I like, if I get to a number, then I'll be happy. But I want to get to that number because I got to that number the way I wanted to get to that number. Not because I forced my way to a number, not because I did this, because everybody said to do this to get to this number. If I get there, I want to look back and be like, man, I really did it my way. This is how I wanted to get to this. Like, if that makes sense. That's how I feel about it.
It's like trust in the process, and you can't cheat the system, right? Because if you try to cheat the system, you're gonna build an unloyal subscribers, and they're not going to support you, and that's really going to show. So it's like it might be slower, but if it's like you're building a house, you got to set the foundation, you got to build it correctly, or else the house is going to tumble. So
no, that's so true. My burpee yoga. Thank you. I seen you come in, Robbie. Robbie, thanks for coming through. Thank you guys for all the support. You guys are hilarious. You guys are just Sam. Everybody loves Sam. I actually like your dating advice. I think it's for young people to be smart. She actually has great advice. Actually, I'm not. I'm just. I was just being super funny about. I was just joking, but she's definitely like she. If I was in her shoes, and if I was somebody that would be like I don't know like much about dating, I need to I would go to Sam like for advice. She knows exactly what she's talking about. But so for you, okay. So what is your process? So okay, you're about to run a 50 miler tomorrow, right?
Yep.
50 miler. So what is your process like from start to finish? What was your process like getting to this point and just being able to prepare yourself the best you can to be able to run a 50, because a 50 mile, once I hear 50 miles, I don't even know 50 miles in a car is like, God, man, we got to drive mad far. That's just me personally. I just think like that. So 50 miles of running is just like, my God. So what is your thought? Like, how are you? So from start to finish, like, what was your whole process like? How do you feel now? Like, what got you to the point you are to be like, okay, I feel like I'm super prepared to run this 50 mile tomorrow.
And to be honest, I don't feel that prepared to run because I haven't been able to run as much as I should. Number one, my injury has like it finally healed up, but it also because there was like a Northern California fire, so I wasn't able to run outside. But I think 50 miles is short enough to where my level of fitness right now, I can do it no problem. 100 miler, it would definitely hurt a lot more. Because the first time I ran a 50, I ran it last September, and I ran the first 33 miles. I walked the next ran the next 14, and then I walked the last 3. Right. So I was still even able to finish that in 10 hours, 52 minutes. So I'm in a lot better shape than I was last year when I ran my first 50 miler, mainly in July or in April. I ran 10 miles a day for 30 days. So that really helped build my ultra running base. And then in July, so April, I ran 10 miles a day for 30 days. In July, I ran the Calendar Club Challenge, in which I ran the number of miles on the given day of the month.
Okay.
Right. So July 1st, run 1, July 31st, 131, and then everything.
I remember. Yeah, I remember when you did that all the way to the end. I was like, man, he's about to. I was like, July 29. He was
it was a lot. It was a lot of miles, but that month really helped build my ultra running base. And well, actually, 1 through 31 only adds up to 496. So I added an additional 4 miles because I was like, all right, I want to get to 500.
500. You know?
So
right.
I got to that, and because of that, I think it'll like really carry over to like the 50 miler. So I feel confident that I'll be able to get under 10 hours tomorrow. But in terms of training, it's literally the hardest part about running like these long distances is that it's just the sheer time out there. Like in actuality, my body doesn't really hurt that much. Like my muscles don't hurt. You know, like when you're done sprinting, your muscles are like super tight and or like when you lift. But when you're running, it's like for me, 50 miles, it's honest. It's more mainly my knees and my muscles. Like my muscles never hurt, never ache. I don't have cramps. It's just more of like, okay, my knees are getting a little achy, and that's about it.
So for you, it's more so the time spent doing the thing than actual the pain or whatever doing. It's just like going in. Man, I have to set this amount of time to do it, and you're like, this is like at the end of the day, it's a lot of time that goes into actually doing it.
It's more of the mental game of, I got to be out here. I got to run for 3 hours today. Like, number one, can I find 3 hours to run? Right. But it's like the pace that you're going at, it's not very hard. So I would equate it to like for a normal person, you're like, hey, just go walk for 10 hours. Like you can walk for 10 hours straight if you really want to. Like you can do it.
If you just wanted to walk. If
you wanted to walk. But that level of stress that you're putting on your body walking for 10 hours, it's not very hard, right? Because you can do it. And that's how the same way I feel when I'm doing the running, because the pace that I'm going at, when people are like, oh, you're running 50 miles, they think I'm like huffing and puffing. Like, nah, that's not how I do it. Like, because like, like even when you're running in basketball, if it's full court, you're running back and forth, you're winded. Like, I'm never winded when I'm running. I'm just like, yeah, I'm just
you're pacing yourself like throughout. So like people, like you said, I know exactly what you're saying. People think that like you're just out here, whoo, like you're just sprinting it. Like, no, but because if you did like that, you wouldn't be able to do it. I assume, right? You wouldn't be able to get it done, right?
Yeah. I mean, you could do it, but it's like, it's not like running a timed mile. Cause when you run like a timed mile, you're like, okay, I'm going to go all out for a mile. But for me, it's like, I got to run for 10 hours. Like, I can't be doing that. Like, I'm just going to go at a chill pace that I can talk with somebody, like right now, if I was running, I'd be able to talk to you just like how I am right now. I'm going at a slow pace. So I think people are like, obviously you have to build your body up to be able to withstand that mileage. Cause, like you can't just go out and run 50 miles. You first, you have to you slowly increase your miles, and then your body will eventually get used to it. Right. And then you just add each mileage each week, and then your body, it'll adapt. And that's where I'm at right now. So it's like when people, it's more the time out there. Cause I'm like, when I ran my 100, it was like, I was going crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm running in circles. And when I was running at night, the loop was a 0.8 mile loop. So less than a mile loop. And you're running over and over and over. You're like,
okay, because that's what Goku Runner asked you. He said, "Are you doing loops?" So that's what he means by that. The loops with that, what you're saying?
Yeah. So the loops that I'm doing, it's a 1.4 mile loop, right? So
you're pretty much just going in. It's not like you're running one. It's like okay, a distance where you're continuing to go around and around and just.
Yeah. So that has its pros and cons in terms of like running, because if you do like, let's say you do a 20-mile loop. Right, because you're gonna see different scenery.
Got it.
But with that, when you do a 20-mile loop, you have to carry a lot of stuff with you, right? Because you can't go back to your car, like unless there's aid stations, right? So you really have to time yourself out with aid stations. But for me, I'm doing a 1.4 mile loop. My car is right there, so I can come back anytime that I want. There's bathrooms right there, so I can go to the bathroom anytime that I want.
Got it.
But it's a 1.4 mile loop, and you're like, this is getting monotonous. This is getting crazy. Like, so it's a mind game. I think a 50 miler is short enough to where it's not that bad, but 100 miler, it's the smaller it is, the worse it is.
So do you feel like it's easier if you would run like a distance without going through the same motion the whole time? Like if you were just like go from point A to point B is a certain amount of time you have to go to. Then if you just go in a circle and you're like, oh, I have to do this 10 times to get to the number I want to get to. Like, which one would you feel like is different? Is better for you?
For me, I like the latter. I like the loop, right? Because with the loop, I don't have to carry a lot of my gear. I don't have to carry a lot of stuff. Okay. So like you don't really have you don't have to worry about your nutrition that much, because everything's in your car. So if you're hungry, you're gonna come back in a mile and a half, 1.4 miles. Whereas like if you like, let's say you're going out for like a straight and back for 25 miles there and then 25 miles back. If you don't carry enough food, like what happens, like if you don't have enough fuel, right? And you got to carry all that. It's like, that's going to suck. But it's like, for me, I would rather like the monotony of like, of running the loops, but I have everything secure. I know where everything is. So if I know I'm not going to die, right? Because like someone's going to see me. So it's, if I need to go to the bathroom, especially like for me, I have like, whenever I drink caffeine or whenever I drink a lot of water, I just have to go to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom a lot, So like, so like when especially like at the start of my run, I'm going to drink a cup of coffee before. I'll probably go to the bathroom like 3 times in an hour, but after that hour, I'll be fine. Right. But like if I was out on a trail, it's like, it's like I can't go to this bathroom anywhere. It's like, So I would much rather have like an aid station, like my car. It's not that.
You see what Sam said? Meanwhile, I can't run more than 5 miles, 3 miles. I mean. I can spin a lot more. So I mean, I'm the same way. Like 50. When I hear 50 miles, I'm like, Oh my God. Like 50 miles, like where, like I'm in New Jersey, so 50 miles from me is probably like it's either to New York or to like Atlantic City. Like we're like that, and I running that, even driving that in my mindset is like, man, that is a lot. So to think about like the mentality I have to have, but like you said, it's so much easier if you're not like just out there off on the start, like pushing yourself like you're running like a sprint, but just focusing on like just get it done. Go at a
Yeah.
pace, whatever pace you got to go at to get it done. Go at that pace. So I think that would be easier for me to accept that and be able to for me to understand and to get it done. Like if I knew that, okay, if I had that mentality of I'm going to go in. I don't care about Vince's time. I don't care about, it's about me. Just at the end of the day, I'm going to start and get it done. So at the end of the day, I'm going to be like, bro, I did this. I did this. I did this.
Yeah, as long as you have that, because then basically what I'm doing when I'm running a 50 mile or whatever, however long the run is, I count down, right? So I go 1 mile, oh, I got 49 to go. And I got 2 miles in, 48 to go. And then I always count down. It's because I have that number in my head and I just need to get to that number. So when you break it down, I like to break it down into 5 mile chunks, you know, because if you try to break it down like a 50 miles, if you think about it, it could be overwhelming. You're like 50 miles, I'm going to be out for 10 hours. But if you're like, yeah, I'm just going to run 5 miles at a time or 1 mile at a time. 5 miles at a time, I just have to do that 9 more times, you know, 8 more times or whatever. So, and I think for me, that's why I'm into ultra running, right? Because it's not the physical benefits, but it's mental benefits. It's like, yo, if you could run 50 miles, if you could run to Atlantic City, like it's going to expand your mind. You know, like if I could do this, I could do anything. You know what I mean? Like I could do anything that I set my mind to. Right. And then now if you run 100 miles, you're like, and you're going to get in some deep waters, like, and it's going to suck and you're going to want to quit. And it's the most painful thing that, well, 50 is not that bad, but 100 is really, really bad, you know? So, yeah, you just got to get through it one step at a time. How do you run 100 miles? How do you run one foot in front of the other? It's like, it's as easy as that.
All right. So I want to give you the last question about like you. And then before we go into like just this, like just random like topics and stuff like that, I want to ask you, I know but you became a real estate agent. And I know that's a huge deal. Like I said, I know a lot of people in New Jersey that are real estate agents, and they are doing a lot. Their their lifestyle is just nonstop work. So I know that from looking in how much it takes for them to get the job done. For you to do that and to do YouTube, that's a lot. Like to even get all that done. So what is it like now that you can look back? Because how long has it been since you've been? How long? When did you start?
A little over 2 months. So I started on the 10th.
Okay. So now looking at how would you assess everything going on now that you're this far into being a real estate agent, and just like what would you say, especially in California, where California is just like the prices are amazing, like it's just crazy. So how would you feel like everything is going right now, and do you feel like this is where you would be at being a real estate agent? Do you feel like everything is going as you predicted? Is it more? Is it less? Like, what would you just overall say about this?
Yeah, so for me, I mean, I'm a little over 2 months in, and I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like, I wish I was better. Like, I wish I could learn faster, but I feel like I trust in my ability and I trust in my work ethic that, and I need to go through the things that I'm going through, right? Because you can't be the best real estate agent without being like a good one first, and then a good, and then great, and then so you have to go through these steps. And it's like the same thing with anything else. To get at something, you just have to put in the time. So for me, it's just making sure that I ask the right questions, that I put in the time, put in the effort, and then I'm not slacking off. So for me, I know that I'm putting in the time, I'm putting in the effort, I'm waking up earlier, I'm staying up later, I'm putting in the work, and that's all I can do. It's not that I'm like dilly-dallying around and not putting in work. But also at the same time, I like I'm the type of person that I accept my life how it is now, because I know that every decision that I've made has resulted in my life now. So I can't complain about my life because I'm the one who made the choices. And if I want to be better at something, then I have to put in that time. So in regards to real estate, I think I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And it's also reassuring that, you know, the people that I'm working with are like, oh, you're doing pretty well right now. You know, you're picking it up really well. So it's, you know, because they've been there, they've seen, I'm only 2 months in, they've been at it for years, and they worked with agents before that. So they've been able to see the progression of other agents, right? Especially at this point. So they're like, yeah, you're picking up really fast. Because some agents, they don't make their first sale until like a year in, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, you know, and everyone's on their own timeline. So 2 days ago, I put in my first offer, and we were this close to getting the deal, this close, because we ended up being top 2. And then when that happens, they'll do like a counter offer, and then whichever counter offer they like better.
They like better, right? Okay, yeah.
But you got to imagine, like, if they get 10 offers and we're top 2, like, hey, we made the top 2, so that means we're doing something right. But like, it was this close, and I was like, that would have been a sweet paycheck, you know. But it is, and now it's 2 months in, and it's only getting better. Right. So like for me, it's I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, because I know that I'm putting in the work, and I trust my work ethic. And it's not like, I'm just like not doing anything, you know, like I'm just like not putting in the work. And also the cool thing is, I know you mentioned YouTube and like balancing real estate. The cool thing is that I feel I'm a better real estate agent because I'm a YouTuber, you know? So when I first started, you know, everything with COVID, you can't do open houses. You can't knock on doors. So what do you got to do? You got to do virtual. It's got to be on your phone. You know what I mean? So for me, you know that I make those virtual walkthroughs. I wouldn't have had those editing skills. I wouldn't have had those Canva skills or all those everything that comes with YouTube if I didn't start YouTube. So now that I'm doing open houses, now I'm doing virtual open tours. Like, people pay agents, or people pay videographers to make videos for them.
Yes.
Right. Like, I don't need to pay that. Right. Or people pay. I mean, I know at least how to work a camera.
How to do it yourself.
Yeah. I know how to do it myself, and I know the value that comes from it. Right. So I'm not going to pay someone, you know, like $500 to make me a 4-minute video. Like, well, granted, my videos aren't that great. Like, it's just like point and shoot, but a lot of the videos that are like the virtual walkthroughs, they don't need to be like crazy B-roll. They can just be like clip stuff together. But if you don't know how to clip stuff together, you can't do it. So for me, I feel like I've become a better real estate agent, plus live streams, plus talking on camera. Now you know how to communicate that, right?
Yeah. I don't mean to cut you off, but just like everything you're saying is so authentic, because even when I feel like even before YouTube, I've been coaching for so long, so I felt like I was a good coach. Like, I don't want to say great, but I was a good coach. Yeah. So I was able to communicate to the kids and do whatever. But even since YouTube, I feel I just got this extra confidence and just this extra aura of just being like, I can look her in the eyes and be like, bro, this is what I want from you, and not sugarcoat. Like, it's just a different, but I know that I wouldn't be able to say or do all this stuff if it wasn't for YouTube. So I appreciate everything you're saying when it comes to that.
Yeah. Cause it's like, even I worked as a recruiter before, right? So I had 3 years recruiting. I talk to people all day, and that's what I do. I'm like a professional, like my job was to be a professional communicator, but there's something about talking to nobody in a camera, and you're like, at first, you know, the first couple of videos, you're like, I'm super monotone, no energy. And they say, just be yourself. Like, how do I be myself? I'm like trying to script everything out, you know? And then you're learning how to communicate even better. And you're learning how to take those pauses. Yes, we still say ums and ahs, but it's a lot less than it was before. And it's just, I feel like it's just made us better communicators. And, you know, with the line of work that I'm in, communication's what it's all about. You know, so I think it's crazy. Like, and it's funny is that, you know, when I first started, they had like this, it was called Mega Camp, where it was like basically a seminar for all of my company. And then they had guest speakers, and they had like workshops and stuff like that. And a lot of the workshops were do virtual tours, go live. You know, it's like, oh, I've been doing that.
Right,
Like, you don't have to tell me. I've been doing that. Like, it makes sense, right? Because you're like, oh, you can't do it live, so you're gonna do it on your phone and do all that. It's like social media. It's all about personal branding. Yo, what have we been doing? I mean, it's YouTube, it's Instagram, it's Facebook, and you know, if you're a YouTuber, small YouTuber, then you should be leveraging those other areas, right? Like what did you do before we started this live? You posted a video of us on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Because it all just makes sense in your head, because it's like we gotta use our other platforms. But like, imagine if you didn't start YouTube, like you would not really know. You'd be like, yeah, you know, I'll post every once in a while. But now it's like, I realize, especially now at like 1,000, you realize how powerful social media is, and you're like, dude, this is like, imagine it's only gonna build and build and build. So you got to 1,000 in less than a year, like, and it's exponential, right? So in like 10 years, you're gonna have 10,000, but we're going to have 100,000, and then now you're going to make more money, and it's going to grow and grow and grow. So like, we just got to keep doing what we're doing, and it's just so powerful, right? I don't know. It's just,
no,
that
is no. Don't apologize. That is so true, because even when I catch myself like talking to, like, say we're in a huddle or even in practice in a game, and say we're just huddled up with me and my kids and I'm just trying to coach and talk basketball. In my mind, I'm like, the same thing you just said. I'm like, I can literally talk to a camera, and I'm literally looking at a camera, not knowing who is going to see this. And I can say and be confident, and I can't be confident talking to these people that I know, these kids I know, that like, it's so easy. Like, every time I come out in public now, it's so much more confidence and just understanding of, if I have the ability to talk in front of a camera and to talk to millions or thousands of people that don't know anything about my life, but I can still talk with the confidence and make them seem like they've known me for they've known me their whole life, then everything else that I do on a daily basis comes so much easier to me. Like, I always catch myself, like, every time I think I'm in an awkward situation, I like, bro, awkward. You talk to a camera. What's more awkward than that? There's nothing more awkward than talking to a random camera where you don't know what people are gonna say about you. You don't know who these people are that's gonna watch you, and you have some nerve to feel awkward talking to people you know, and people. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I agree. It's like perspective, right? It's like, it's what, not that YouTube is bad, but it's a learning. It's like, we've learned a lot about ourselves, and it's like, yeah, before we started, I just feel like it's been a blessing, because it's like, I want to get better at YouTube. How do I get better at YouTube? I got to make more videos. I got to be on camera. I got to talk to the camera, and then it all kind of worked itself out, you know. And then now it's like, all right, yeah, I'm glad that I started when I did, because if I didn't, I wouldn't nearly feel as comfortable, right?
Exactly. No, that's so true. So who would you want to play a bio in your life? If you had a choice in your life to be like, this person is gonna play the bio in my movie to tell the story of my life, who would you want to play that script?
That's a good question, just because it's so. Obviously, I'm Asian, right? But it's like, I don't know a lot of Asian actors, so it's like, is my scope limited, you know? But like the guy from I don't know his name, but the guy from Maze Runner, the Asian guy from Maze Runner.
Well, that I don't know his name at all, but I like the first. But I think there were 3 or 2.
Yeah,
the first one was good, but then they got a little bad after that. But I know exactly who you're talking about. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I feel like that he would be good. You know, like he's a good actor.
So for me, I would be very. Cause I would feel like I need a Denzel-ish type guy. I need somebody that's be able to show the emotion and show the energy of like the coaching, the fire behind it. So that would be very Denzel-ish type level type of person.
The only reason I'm choosing that guy is because that's the only Asian guy that I know. I mean, I'm being completely honest, like, because I'm not even thinking about my personality and his personality. You know, I'm just kind of like,
well, you could be Jackie Chan.
No, Jackie Chan. I'm not that funny though. You know, I'd be more like more Jet Li than I am Jackie Chan. Jack Chan's a little goofy, you know what I mean?
Goofy. He's a goofy. Yeah, he's a funny guy. Yeah.
I think Jet Li, I feel, Jet Li would be good, but he's a lot older than me, you know. But obviously, he's like,
no, but it is prime. It is prime.
Yeah,
it is prime.
He's more like serious, you know. Not that I'm like serious, but like I don't think I'm that funny.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But I'm not like Kevin E. He's funny, you know. He's like naturally funny. For me, I'm just like I'm more of a serious, not like serious, but like I laid back ish, right? Actually, Jet Li might be a little bit too serious too, because he's always in like
he is super. He doesn't joke. Everything he's in, he's like ready to like kick somebody or punch somebody. Yeah, he's not a joker guy. Yeah. You're right. The options are not.
Yeah, it's limited, you know.
It's not a huge bad. Cause I would say like worst case scenario, I would say a Bruce Lee, because Bruce Lee would be the perfect. Like, if I was Asian, I would want Bruce Lee to pay me for everything.
Yeah.
But it's just that he passed away, so it's not like he'll be able to. But that would be my choice for.
If Brad Pitt was Asian, I would say that would be good because he has a funny side too. You know what I mean? He has a funny side. And he also has like he's laid back ish, you know. He's like in Troy, but he's also in like some funny movies, you know. Like,
I would think what's his name? Who plays in Mission Impossible? Who's the Mission Impossible?
Mission Impossible.
Oh man, who's the Mission Impossible guy? That I would think you would be like that guy. You would
Tom
be
Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
My girlfriend's like saying it Tom Cruise, but I can't hear because my earphones are in.
Ready to jump out of a plane or do whatever.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
I'm not that fearless though, to be honest with you. I'm scared for the heights, you know, and I can't swim, so I would be a terrible Tom Cruise.
That's hilarious. All right, so what's it like being from California? So how do you like? What's it like being? Because I know you said with the wildfires, like all that's going on. My friend lives in SoCal too. He lives out there. I think Orange County or one of those places. But
yeah.
So I know all about the fires and all that stuff. But how's it like? Because right now in Jersey it is freezing cold. It's raining. It's been raining all day. It's like 40 degrees. It's just trash.
Yeah.
The weather out here is just over.
Yeah. I think when like people are like, oh, you're from California, it's like, it's just life, you know. It's like if someone was like, oh, how's living in, you know, New Jersey, it's like it's just what you're used to. So it's like when I think the area, so I grew up in Northern California, and then I also went to school in Southern California. So there's a big difference in the type of people, but also just like the weather and stuff, you know. So like NorCal, like up here, where I'm in the Bay Area now, it's cold right now. It rained today.
Dang, did we lose him? He said, Kasi Denzel. Thank you, Robbie. I support that. Denzel would be the man. Running for my best life. Anthony, thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate your support, Anthony. Thank you for coming through. Vince. We lost Vince. I think we lost him.
Yep, am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
My bad, I don't know what happened. Bad internet. I just upgraded my internet too, so it's funny.
Got you.
Yeah, there we go.
You're good.
Yeah, what was I saying? Oh, how's it living in
Cali,
California? So
with all the.
I'm in the Bay Area right now, so it's a little cold. I mean, the Bay Area, when it gets cold, it gets cold, and when it gets hot, it gets hot. You know, so when it gets cold, it's like 40s. Like I think today was like 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and then when it gets hot, it's like 100, 105. You know, but in SoCal, it's like I lived in San Diego, so it was like 70 year round. You know. And then, but down there it was a lot nicer, and it didn't rain very often. So when it did rain, people were just freaking out, like, "Oh my god, yeah, freaking out!" Like like driving, the speed limit is 65, driving like 40 miles an hour on the freeway.
So you guys don't know anything about snow and stuff like that?
No, I freak out when I see snow, dude. Like it's insane. Like I've never seen snow. Like I've seen snow, obviously. I've been like snowboarding, but I think I've only seen snow fall like 3 times. And then one of those times was out when I was in Shanghai, and then other times when I was like visiting the mountains, right? But
got it.
Like I don't know what snow, like shovel snow, like Home Alone when they had to shovel snow. I don't know what that is.
So we get oh, hold on. Running from Robbie said you're a hologram. You're a hologram. So in Jersey, New York, tri-state area, Jersey, New York, Philly, Connecticut, we get the worst of each, not the worst, but the best, if you want to say the best of each season. So when it's winter, it's super winter. When it's spring, it's spring. When it's summer, it's summer. When it's fall, it's fall. So when it's fall, whatever you think of fall right now, we're getting fall. This is fall. It's rain, trees looking crazy, like you get every weather. When it's winter, it's cold, you're gonna see snow. When it's spring, you're gonna see sun and all this. Like it's just we get the best of like every weather. So like we're able to so we can go to like Cali and be like, oh, it's nice weather all the time because we can adapt to that and we understand that. We could go to Canada and be like, man, it's freezing because we know cold weather like that. So you know what I mean? Even if you don't like it, it's that you understand. It's just it sucks. I have a love-hate for our area. It's a love-hate for this place because you literally get the best and the worst. It's so bad. Like like right now it is trash. Like this weather, it's been raining for like 3 days. It's like 50 degrees and it's going down to like 30 at night. It's so bad. It's just like you don't even want to be outside in this type of like nobody wants to go outside and do anything in this type of weather. It's like everybody knows what it is. It's like when you're out here, you have a mentality of like, okay, this is the time we're in, and then we just gotta. It's like, okay, everything we gotta do is inside now. We just got to do everything.
Because I lived in San Diego I just moved back to the Bay Area like last year, so I've been used to like good weather year round. So I'm like, when it's raining, it's like, dude, I'm sad, like, and I couldn't imagine raining or being murky like every single day for like 3 months. It's like, so
no, I went to Cali in, I want to say, I don't even know what the year was. It was about 5 years ago, something like that. And I went out there for basketball to watch the Clippers versus the Lakers. It was like Kobe. Kobe was still playing, so it might have been even more than 5 years ago. But I went out there and I fell in love with it. I was like, man, I understand why people love this place. The weather was perfect. The people were so hospitable. Have you ever been to Jersey or have you? I
have not.
The people out here are not hospitable. There's no hospitality. They don't care about you. You have to focus. When you come out here, you got to understand your mentality has to be like, I got to do what I got to do. Because people don't care. They're going to run over you, walk over you, push you out the way. Just know you got to do what you got to do. It's such a total, like when I went to Cali, people were like, oh, hey, random people, hey, nice to see you. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Yeah. Out here, you don't get that type of stuff. You don't get a hi and nice to see you. Like, it's like to each his own, you got to do what you got to do. So like, I definitely, when I went out there, I was like, man, I can, other than the earthquakes and the fires and all that stuff, I can see myself like really living out there. And
I think I'd never even thought about that because I feel like when I go out, I'm like, hey, how's it going? It's like when I talk to cashiers, when I talk to like whoever I'm interacting with, or if we're in line next to each other, at the DMV, like, and I see something, I would say, if like, oh, I like your shirt, like it's just a common thing, like, hey, how's it going? But I never knew that, like, it's because I feel like also Californians are in their own world, right? It's just like, honestly, I could not tell you where, like Oklahoma was on a map. Right. Like Michigan, I know because like the lakes and stuff. But like, if you had to tell me, if you had to say, put all 50 states on a map, I would probably get like 10 right. Like Texas, Oregon, Washington, whatever's touching California. But even in like like New York, like I know where New York is, but like if you told me on a map, like, okay, where's New York, where's Maine, where's Jersey, I'd be like, I have no idea. Like, I don't know.
That is hilarious. Because you know what's funny? I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, I don't know where Iowa, Idaho,
Yeah.
but like I don't know where none of those places are. I like if you told me to pick out where they were, I have no clue where any of those places. Like I know East Coast and I know super West Coast, and I know like sounds like Texas and Florida, but New Orleans. But other than that, when you go to the middle of the United States, I'm lost. I don't know where nothing is supposed to be. I'm lost.
Yeah, exactly. Same.
It's hilarious. Money management. Thank you for coming through. Thank you. Much love, Daddy Gaines. Thank you for coming through. He said, Robbie said that's true. NY and Jersey are different for sure. Yeah, it's different. You would, I don't know what your mentality, but if you came out here, like, don't come out here when it's cold, because when it's cold, you can't experience like the best part of how it is. So it has to be when it's the warmer weather, because everybody wants the bright lights. And when New York is with the bright lights and everything like that, there's nothing like that. It's crazy. Even though I've experienced it so many times because it's right across the border. It is nothing like that. There's nothing like the bright lights of New York. Like it's just a different like environment. So I would definitely tell you to experience that. But other than that, I would just it was like New Jersey. Yeah, it's different. The whole mentality is just it's night and day from LA, like from like California to like out here. People don't. I don't want to say that I'm being funny when I say they don't care. It's not that they don't care. It's just that it's at a level where you have to do what you got to do. If you don't do what you got to do, people are gonna just push you out the way. Like if you're just here walking, so imagine like a bunch of people walking and trying to get to a destination, and you're just going along the way, minding your business, walking mad slow. People are gonna push you out the way and say, "I gotta get to this," for like, like that's how it is out here. Like you gotta do what you gotta do, and if you don't have a goal and focus on what you gotta do, you'll get trampled over. Like it'll be over.
I feel like there's times where I've come through that, but it's always like, what the hell is wrong with that person? You know, when someone does that, like, yo, like calm down, like you're gonna get where you're gonna get eventually, right? It doesn't matter.
So your mentality, exactly what you just said. If you said that out here, they would be like, "What?" They'll be like, they'll just walk past you and they won't even say. They'll push you to the floor and be like, they don't even want to hear that, because in their mind they're so focused on what they have to like. It's so fast paced out here. You know what I mean? And so everything is just so. But like every day is just this, it's just this and this. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. So people understand that like the mentality has to be, you have to do what you have to do. If you don't focus on what you have to do, people are not ashamed and are not mad to walk over you, push over you, or get by you, because they look at you and they're like, this guy is just going through the motions, or this person is just not, you know what I mean, doing what he got to do. So I honestly, it's made me who I am today. It's made me have a mentality of I got to do what I got to do. It just grew up. It's like growing up in that type of like mentality and that lifestyle of just understanding like what you have to go through in life and what you have to like become and all that stuff.
Yeah. I think it's like for me, like I spent most of my time in college in San Diego, SoCal. It's more like my mentality is like, you're going to eventually get there. Like you like, why be in a rush? But like, obviously put in the work, but you don't have to like, it's like speeding, right? Like if you drive 70 miles an hour, you're going to get there. If you drive 90 miles an hour, you're going to get there a minute quicker. But why risk the ticket? You know? Like why risk the ticket? No, there's no reason. So you just, that's so funny. And it's like,
no, go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just like mentality is like, I mean, I'm maybe the people I surround myself with, but it's just like, it's like, you want to be nice, like, don't be an a-hole. Like, it's all good. Like, hey, we're living our lives to get, like, I don't know. It's when I see rude people, I'm like, what's not like, I always think about, okay, maybe they're having a bad day or something like that. Right. But it's like really rare when I'm very taken aback when I meet someone really rude. Right. I'm just like, what the hell?
Vince, everything you're saying sounds great. And
Yeah.
so, like in reality, I'm with you. Like everything you said is 100% true. I don't disagree with. Like that's how you should be in life. For some reason, they're not like this out here. I don't know. I can't tell you. They're the total opposite of everything you're just saying. They're not, like they at the point where you should be like, okay, it's okay, or you're cool, or whatever the case may be. It's the total opposite. They'll give you the total opposite. So
it makes sense. So I mean, everyone, it's the culture, it's the local culture, right? Like
yeah, it's a lot. But he said, Ricardo said, I hope to
I don't think I can hear you right now, Kev. Oh, can you?
You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Ricardo said he hopes to experience New Year's in New York.
Yeah.
So don't do that. Don't do that. Because that's where it's just too many people. That's the worst. When it's just a lot of people at one time out here, it's just too much.
Yeah.
Like Robbie said, you're totally right. It's more of an aggregate of a ton of people in a hurry. It's just people, they'll push you out the way. That's just how bad. It's not even a bad mentality. It's just that everybody they're like in their mind, they got to do what they got to do. So if they have to knock you down to get to where they got to do, they'll knock you down to get to where they got to go. They don't care. It's like that. That's the mentality they have whenever they're like moving out here. But I love it. It's not. It builds
character.
Of character,
like
it builds a type of sense of I can take this mentality wherever I go, so I can adapt. So even if it's slower, I can adapt. But if I get to that point, I know how to act. Like it just like being around it there, like the tri-state area, like New York, New Jersey, like it is just it really helps to build like who you are and helps to show you that life is so much more than what you think. Like you're so focused on what you got to do, but when you look around, like everybody is on a mission. Like you're not the only one on a mission. Everybody out here on a mission. So if you don't focus on what you have to do, you're gonna get left behind. So that's what YouTube, all this stuff helped me realize. Like I have to always be focused on what I have to do, because if I don't focus on this, I'm gonna look back and be like, I don't ever want to be that person that looks back like, man, this Vince got 10,000 subscribers. I got 1,000. If I would have kept up with him before I would have been on that same level. Like I'll never be that person. So I'm always gonna do. Every day I wake up, I'm like, today, what can I do? Like, how much can I do? What can I do to be the best I can do? To be the best I can be today. Like that's what I focus on.
Yeah. And actually that's happened because like I remember I started my YouTube channel like long before I fully committed. And then I saw people like they were at like 100, and then next thing you know, they're at like 2,000. Like, dude, if I would have just stuck with it, so, and then that was one of my like regret factors, right? And then just, it's like, if I would have just stuck with it and I would have been there. And then now it's like, oh yeah, if you put in the work, you'll get there. Right. Like, you just got to make videos and then you got to interact and do the YouTube things. But it's more the consistency, right? You just got to stick with it. And so.
Nah, that's 100% facts. So, it's gonna, hold on. What did he say? Give me a windy video. I would have loved to hike. Robbie is hiking. Like these guys is like, I can't do all that stuff. Ever since I saw the hiking video with the not the lion, but with the
an animal.
Yeah, where he was like the guy was recording it and recording the cougar. The cougar.
Cougar. Yeah.
Ever since I saw that, I was like, yeah, all my hiking dreams are done. Ever since that, I was like, hiking is off the schedule. I was hiking with nobody ever again. That was it for me. All right, we're gonna go into the basketball. So I got basketball trivia for Vince. I feel like you shouldn't compare your pace to others. That's a fact, Ricardo, and that's what I've gone to the point of now, is to focus on just doing me and doing the best I can do. And like, because if I focused on like just say that I focus on like Vince, like, and just focus on be like Vince and do what Vince does and whatever the case may be. Like, I don't feel like that would get me to where I want to get to. Because at the end of the day, Vince, you don't have to look at where I'm at. So I feel like everything I do, I have to be able to look back and be like, I'm appreciative and proud of what I'm doing. So that's where I feel like I'm at with YouTube. Like, when it comes to YouTube now, where I'm at right now is just that mentality of just being like, okay, everything I do from this point on, if this was your last video, if this was the last time you posted, if this was the last time, would you be proud of what you did? Like, would you be super like? And if I can say that, I feel like nothing else matters.
Your legacy.
That's what I'm trying to create. That's it. That's what I'm trying. And it's even more than me. Like, even when I post these kids, like, it's not even about. It's about me telling the story. Yes, I'm telling a story, but it's about showcasing. Like, if you see those kids 10 years from now, you'll be like, man, I can't believe they were there 10 years ago. Like, they've made it so much further than where they were at. Like, that's the mentality of that's what I'm trying to grow, and to just show that you can literally start something from small and create something that you would never believe.
Yeah.
Robbie said, all right. So we're gonna go into So we're gonna end this off. We're gonna go into 5 random questions when it comes to basketball trivia. So 5 random basketball trivia questions. Are you ready? So
I'm ready. Hopefully I can get, because I'm a very casual basketball fan. But,
so this is the third time I'm doing this. So
yeah.
My friend Tanisha, when I did it the first time, I think she was like 2 for 5, or she didn't do too good. Then I did it with my other friend the next time. I think he went like 4 for 5 or 3 for 5. So you have I think 3 for 5 would be a good number. 2 for 5 would be respectable, but 3 for 5
and 1 for 5 you're
all right. So all right, I'll post it. So first one. Who was the first NBA player to test positive for COVID? And hold on, give me 1 second. And
Rudy Gobert.
Do you know before it?
Rudy Gobert. I believe it was, right?
I didn't even have to go into it. I was like looking for the answers. Rudy Gobert is your answer?
Yes, I'm gonna say yes.
So do you want it? You don't want me to give you the?
No, wait. Yeah, that's final answer.
Rudy Gobert is 100% correct.
Yeah, I remember that because who was his teammate? His teammate got hella mad at him, right? Because
Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell.
Because he was all touching the mics on the reporters stuff, I remember that.
He was making fun of it a little bit. He was like joking about it, like, nobody can get this. This is not serious or whatever. And then it turned into.
I can't believe I got that right. I was like, I don't even
that's good.
I don't even know what team he's on. He's on the Jazz. The Jazz.
I have to say, if you know that, you have to know that he's on that team.
Yeah, because I was thinking okay, I remember him with the yellow J. I was like, okay, it's the Jazz.
Okay. So 1 for 1. That's perfect.
1 for 1. Yes.
All right. So this one might be but this was not. I tried my best to pick questions that weren't crazy though.
Yeah.
What player won All-Star Game MVP, NBA MVP, and NBA Finals MVP in 2000? So the key thing, before you answer, don't even answer. Before you answer, just listen. The key, I think, that for you to get this right, the key word or the key phrase is 2000.
Yeah.
So you have to give So you have to think of like
Back in the day. Who were the Kings going up against? I remember 2002 was when the Lakers cheated the Kings. I remember that. So a little bit before that, that was when like Kobe and Vlade, or I mean, yeah, it was when Chris Webber. Are you gonna give me multiple choice, or do I have to answer?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you multiple choice.
Okay, yeah.
So 2000 was during the whole the Lakers Kings rivalry.
Yep,
Like
I remember that.
I think that was like the beginning of it. I want to say that's the beginning of it.
Yeah.
And that was when like the Lakers and whatever were killing. So I would the multiple choice for that would be the Shaq. She said Kobe, Mike Bibby, or Charles Barkley.
It's either Shaq or Kobe, right? I'm gonna go Kobe just because. I mean,
I tried to. So these aren't even the what's the name they gave you, but I said this to try to give you. I feel like this would be easier, like answered. Like if I give you this, like these replies would be like would make you like understand because it's nobody from the Kings.
Yeah, it's nobody for Charles Barkley's a little older.
Yeah,
he's
and
a little older.
I just doing there just to make it seem like it was like some type of whatever. But I did this to make it seem like whatever. Like
yeah,
because the actual if you want to hit the actor, it was Tim Duncan,
yeah,
Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, or Shaq. That were the options.
Yeah. I would have. So I don't know who won, but I was thinking in my head, okay, Lakers probably won, right? Because that was when Kobe was good. So I was like, if it's the NBA Finals MVP, then it's probably someone from the Lakers.
Yeah.
So I say it's either Shaq or Kobe. So and I was like, I don't know.
That's you're breaking it down good. So
right,
I'm with you 100%. So it's between Shaq and Kobe. Yeah.
And then I think, okay,
so in your mind, so think about all three because they won. The person won the All-Star Game MVP, the NBA MVP, and the Finals MVP. So that's a lot of MVPs in one season. That's 3.
I would say Kobe. I mean, right? I don't know, like. I don't know, but Shaq was so dominant, right? But then he was like, when I think about Kobe and Shaq, because I always think about Kobe was like, because wasn't he saying to Shaq like, if you worked a little bit harder, you would have been a way better player than I was, right? And then also Kobe is like, it's like one step below Jordan, or that's how people compare. So it's like I'm defaulting to Kobe because it's like
everything you're saying is a 100%. You just gotta go with I agree. Kobe, you're right, and with Shaq, you're 100%.
Yeah.
So if I would give you a hint, it's just about thinking about all those accolades is dominance. Like somebody showed super dominance that year. That's a lot of dominance. Like they just showed they were bigger and better than everybody in that season.
So if you're gonna say dominance, I'm gonna go Shaq.
You got it.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
It. Right. Yep.
Yeah. If you say dominance, I'm gonna go Shaq.
Because when you look at it, it's just a lot of things that for somebody to win that many like things, it's just like, oh man, this person.
Because what I was thinking was, okay, it could be Kobe because who left? Shaq left.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, okay, does that mean Kobe is like the better player? So that's why I was like, yeah. So that's what I was thinking. So
yeah, but nah. When you think about dominate, like all the accolades, you just gotta be like, Shaq had to be able to win.
Yeah.
For that season, he was just the best player. Like,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Next one. What jersey did Carmelo Anthony wear during his Denver Nuggets career? So you want me to give you the multiple choice? Okay.
Yeah, you give me multiple choice. I don't know this one. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know this one.
Carmelo. So the reason because this is us. This is our people. Carmelo's East Coast. He's from Baltimore.
Yeah.
So 2,
No,
double
that's not it. That's
zero,
not it.
7, or 15.
15.
15.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. I
Yes.
knew it was a double digit number. I
Yes.
was thinking 35, right? 35. I was like, okay, 35, but I knew it had a 5 in there and I knew it was double digits.
That's it. Yes. All right. Good. All right. So that's what. So you're 3 for 3? Are you 3 for 3 with this?
Yeah, I would say I would like I think you guided me towards
I
the
got it.
the Shaq and Kobe one because I was gonna guess Kobe, and then you're like dominance. I was like, all right, Shaq.
I had to put the word dominance in there.
Yeah.
Just to figure this
So
out.
maybe like 2 for 3. So I'll take 2 for 5. That's pretty good. I feel like it's pretty good. For me, I barely know basketball, so
Okay. Next one. So what college team did Kevin Garnett play for before being drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves? So this is kind of
it's more challenging than the others.
it's tough.
Yeah.
If you know Kevin Garnett, then it would be kind of easy. You'd be like, I know.
Yeah.
But it would be tricky. So do you want the
Multiple choice. Yeah, I know. I mean, I know who Kevin Garnett is, right? Like he was on the Timberwolves for a long time, and then he went to the Celtics, and then he won with the Celtics, right? With Ray Allen and Rondo, right? So,
yes.
but I don't know, like I never studied Kevin Garnett, right?
So that's what I'm saying. So if you knew him,
Mm-hmm.
you'd be like, this is
Yeah, easy.
easy. So so I'll tell you.
Yeah.
It comes. Okay, so for you, I'll let you know this. It could be any college team. So it could be the Duke. It could be Michigan. It could be Connecticut.
I'm gonna say no to Duke. No.
Hold on. Or it could be straight out of the straight.
Oh, he didn't go to college because he was one of the players. It was him, Kobe, LeBron that was drafted out of high school.
I want to say that he was the last one. I gotta look this up real quick. I want to say that he was the last because they stopped letting kids go from high school.
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett was the last one that.
LeBron.
LeBron was the last one.
Yeah.
Kevin Garnett, I think, was the first one. I think. Was the first one to come out of high school and then to go straight to the league.
Yeah. Because I knew it wasn't Duke. I knew it wasn't Michigan. Michigan was Chris Webber, right?
Yes.
And the Fab Five. Yeah. And then I was like, okay, I thought you were only going to give me 3 options. I was like, okay, Connecticut. There you go. So I was like, so right. That's right. Yeah.
You're killing this. This is good. You're doing way better. I think way better than you thought you would be doing.
Yeah, same. I think you're giving me softballs though.
But even beforehand, I told you that I was gonna look it up and I was gonna be able to give you. I wasn't gonna give you nothing that was crazy because even though I was looking at somebody who's like, I didn't even know the answer.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one. What piece of equipment formerly owned by Stephen Curry sold at an auction for $3,190 on August 21st, 2016?
What piece of basketball equipment formerly? I'm gonna say mouthpiece.
I didn't have to give you a multiple choice on this one, yay.
Yeah.
You have to give you a multiple
choice. Was that right? Mouthpiece? Because I was like, it can't be his jersey, because if it's his jersey, it's probably gonna be worth more. But if it's like his mouthpiece, like how much is a mouthpiece worth?
That's
like,
it.
Right?
I didn't even have to give you a multiple choice on that one. There was this area where he was just chewing his mouthpiece. Everybody would just had a mouthpiece and was chewing it like it was like gum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that because like his thing is the free throw before he shoots his free throws, right? He has his like hanging out. Yeah.
He chews it like it's like candy, like it's gum. That's a fact.
Yeah.
With Dang said mouthpiece. You got it. Yeah.
Nice. I didn't do too bad.
That was good. So you went, what was it, 4 for 5? 3 for
4 for 5. I think I'll take 4 for 5 because I think, you know, in reality, it was 3 for 5 because you gave me the Shaq one and then you gave me the Kevin Garnett one too, ish.
Okay.
Right. So I take 3 for 5. Like I earned 3, but you know, I could have went 4 for 5 too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. All right. This is good. This is a fun time.
Yeah, it was fun.
He said mouthy kick it. Thank you. Thank you for kick it. Thanks. Thanks for coming through. This is a great time. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you for coming on to the live, Vince. Like this was fun. I enjoy like even hold on. I just want to make sure I get this right before we go because Ricardo said something that was good. That's why I love this community because we're all doing different things, and at the end of the day, we believe each other's experience. That's so true.
Yeah.
It's like we can.
Yeah.
Like, there's always something that just brings us all like together that just we can all relate to. You know what I mean? There's always something that you could just like, even though you're coming from here, I'm coming from here, or something like. There's always something that's a middle ground where we can all relate to something and just understand whatever the case would be. But definitely appreciate you coming on. Everything. So I'm gonna put Vince's YouTube page, Vince's Instagram, all in the description, all in the comments. I put it in the comments so you guys can check all that out. Vince, if you have anything you want to say before we leave, just you could promote anything you got going on, anything you want to say, anything you want to end this live stream off. The floor is all yours.
Yeah, man. I just appreciate you having me on. This is a really fun time. When you asked me, it was like, oh, I'm not even second thought, you know. And it's like it's gonna be a good time. And it was like almost 2 hours. Like, dude, literally feels like 15 minutes. And I was like, geez. So yeah, I appreciate you having me on, you know, and I love what we've built. I feel like we're in this together, right? And there's this small community of us, and I told everyone, like, I don't want to get there, like I don't want to get there alone. I want to get there together, and it's cool to see all of us kind of like getting there, like relatively the same pace too, right? It's not like we're like someone's blowing out like 100,000. It's like we're all building together. So it's cool to see everyone kind of level up together and like surrounding. It's so important because it's like surrounding yourself with the right people, right? And it's crazy. It's like YouTube has been able to connect all of us that aren't near each other at all. And then, but there's a good core of us that's like, you know, I'm just happy that I've been able to meet you and everyone else in the community that, you know, it feels like we're friends, you know? So if you're, you know, when you're ever in, you know, the Bay Area, you know, we're going to hang out, or if I'm ever over there, it's like, I know, you know, who to hit up. You know, hopefully at that point I'll be able to drink a little bit, but you know, and then it'll be a good time. But you know, I'm looking forward to that day. So yeah, man, I just appreciate you. Appreciate everyone here that's been able to support us both. I feel like we have a lot of crossover in terms of our audience, but you know, I'm just appreciative. And yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, this was a good time. Like I said, at the end of the, like you said, the end of the day, this is like we're just all in this, especially the ones that's been here from the beginning. We just understand what it is, and we're just all in here trying to create something. You know what I mean? Just create something from nothing, and then be able to look back and be like, bro, this is where we started. Well, I can't believe we made it this far from where we started. So it's definitely like I just do this. Like these lives are nothing more than me just promoting and just trying to get people on that I know that have something positive and something good to say, and just words that you'll be able to, even if it's somebody that's random that's never heard of me or heard of you, be able to be like, oh man, I got something out of watching this video.
Yeah,
definitely good luck with your 50 miler tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Man, you're better than me with that. Hope all the best for you with all that. Definitely hope all the best. This is a fun time. Like you said, the time with all these, I always say I have so many questions and stuff to ask, and then I look up, it's like 2 hours. I'm like, I want to keep these to like an hour. And then like 2 hours, the time just flies by like this. But that means it's something good. That means we're doing something good and something is working out. So
exactly.
Good times. Thank you, Vince. Thank you, everybody who came through in the comments. I appreciate each and every one of you, Vince. Appreciate each and every one of you guys that girls that commented in the video. Thank you so much. All the support. If you can, before you go, like this video. That will definitely help us out with all this YouTube. You know how I say YouTube asks us to do all this stuff, so we gotta do this for YouTube. So we gotta get all this done. Thank you guys. Till next time. Vince is out. Coach Kev, this was a great time. Till next time, we are out of here. Peace.
Peace.